Hi, my name is Emily, Ellie, and I am T-Girl Angel. And I just wanted to do a video. Um, if you notice, my voice is kind of hoarse. I haven't been feeling all that well these past couple of days. But I do want to share some happenings in my life and try to maybe share things that I feel could be helpful to somebody out there. I was deeply depressed a couple of days ago, and I was very fragile in my thinking. Um, I don't know sometimes how to control my emotions and feelings, and sometimes I feel that I lose control. Um, I am formally diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Uh, I am also struggling with clinical depression, and I am also transgender. So I battle with gender dysphoria. Um, when you look at the whole picture, it's kind of very hard for most people to comprehend. The human mind is not always so easy to understand, and I would be the very first to admit that I don't even understand my mindset sometimes. I have lots of problems. I'm definitely OCD. I am very anxious. I have lots of anxiety and social phobias. Um, there was a time when I worked for a long time in a career lasting almost 30 years, but I am not able to cope anymore in social situations, especially work related office situations. I have become very uh, affected in a very negative way as a result of my coming out as a transgender woman. It was like my whole world came apart. Um, I am very proud that I did come out, but there are issues that come upon those who do come out that can be very painful, such as how it impacts on your family, especially if you have a child, uh, how it impacts on your career and in your job setting, and how it impacts on your family and friends. And I have struck out on all those counts. I struck out with my family, even though I'm still with my wife and I have my son. But my wife doesn't accept me for who I am. uh, her in-laws tolerate me. I mean, my in-laws, her mom, brother and sister, and niece and nephews tolerate me, but I wouldn't say that they accept me. My son certainly doesn't accept me, and that weighs heavily on me. I am also dealing with depression, and I am also dealing with no set schedule. I went from working 40 to 50-hour work weeks as an accountant under extreme pressure situations to no longer working uh, through no fault of my own. I just find it very difficult to find comparable work. I am fortunate that I am on disability. I have long-term disability, and due to my bipolar disorder, I also have Social Security disability. If I was only on Social Security disability, I would not be able to afford my house. It's my long-term disability that is allowing me to provide for the household, the mortgage, and all the expenses. So I have a lot of pressure, and I have a 15-year remaining, well, more like 14 and a half years remaining on my balance. But I'm trying to strategically pay it off in half the time, which would require a commitment on a monthly basis for the next 8 years of my full amount monthly for my long-term disability. So I wouldn't even see the money. As soon as it would hit my account, it would go out to pay the mortgage and the excess principal. That is the only way I can pay the house off with very little time left to collect the remainder of my long-term disability. Then, after that is said and done, I still am responsible for the real estate taxes. And I feel I will qualify for the star rebate. And once I turn 65, I believe I qualify for the enhanced star rebate. So that will help me with my real estate taxes, because I don't know exactly when my Social Security disability ends and how it then becomes retirement disability, and how much will it be? Will it be similar in amount? So that is my major concern. I have been trying my best to explain to my son that people aren't always going to be perfect. There are instances where people struggle with their feelings, emotions. I happen to struggle with my gender identity, and I struggle with bipolar disorder and depression. And I can't blame myself for the way I am. It's just who I am. And I tried for most of my life to live the male the male life. I tried to do everything that I was supposed to do. I wanted to live a normal life, marry, have family, children. But the thing that I realize is that I'm very happy that I have a family and I have a child. I love my son. He's my pride and joy. But I can't hide who I truly am. I tried to do that for my whole life. My parents never knew. They may have, known, but we never discussed it. And I feel that it was very hard for me to come out because I had impacted many people's lives. And sometimes I feel that I have to also take care of myself. And I don't have to live for other people all the time. My therapist always said to me that it's about you too, and that you also have to be happy. And I am trying to balance my transition with my family life. I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm concerned of the future of the country. I'm concerned about my future, my family's future. I'm concerned about my son's future. He's also struggling with autism. And, his future is kind of unknown at this point. But I will always be there for my son as best I can. There are no guarantees. That's why there's life insurance. I was very fortunate to become a CPA because that gave me privilege not only to license myself out as a professional and to command a higher salary, though I think I was probably one of the lower paid CPAs in my profession because I wasn't an aggressive person. I kind of was very passive, so I think that affected my career growth. But I had the forethought to take out not only life insurance that would pay out $1 million upon my death, whether it's suicide because I'm beyond the 2-year clause or natural death. But I also had the forethought of taking out long-term disability. Now, I couldn't afford the higher payout of long-term disability because the premium was too high. but I took out a reasonable amount that is allowing me to keep my house, essentially. And I'm trying to curtail my expenses. Obviously, I have monthly expenses. Everybody has that. And I'm trying to pay off all my credit card debt in a consolidated manner. So I'm getting to a point where my credit score is improving significantly. So I'm very encouraged about that. And your credit score is improving when you go from a $300 credit to a $2,000 credit on a Macy's charge card. So that was very surprising, and not that I'm going to use that credit. I will shop at Macy's from time to time, but it's nice to know that my credit is getting better reception. Also, my Best Buy credit went from $500 to $750, and that may go up again to maybe $1,000. So I am seeing improvement in my credit, and I'm trying to pay off my credit cards and have no debt, and hopefully have no debt in 8 years, because that's my time horizon for paying my 14.5-year mortgage down to 8 years by aggressively paying the principal. With my long-term disability, the full amount. Part of it will go to the mortgage payment monthly, and the remaining part will go to the principal. I have to think like that. And naturally, I am an accountant, so I am able to rationalize these types of decisions. Now, trying to go back to the past few days, I have been struggling mightily with depression, where it came to a point where I was desperately contemplating suicide. I had a plan. I have a plan. It's pretty simple. If I were to go that route, I would want it to be the most painless way, and the only way that I feel would be a very painless way would be to lock myself in my car with the engine running and my tailpipe closed or blocked off. And by doing that, I would most likely be overcome by carbon monoxide. I'm not saying that I'm going to do that, but people always ask, if you're contemplating suicide, do you have a plan? And I would say, yes, I do have a plan, and it's an effective plan. Um, but I am not suicidal at this point. A few days back I was, but I was lucky to have an intervention, and I had crisis coordinators speaking with me, and I also was very distraught when Hillary lost in the election, that I had to call the suicide hotline, and I had to express my depression and frustration. And I did do some campaigning for her. I thought she was the better candidate, and that she would have done a lot of good in this country. But it's behind us now, and now we have to face the reality that we have someone who I don't feel will help people. I don't know him enough to judge him one way or the other, but just seeing him in his campaign, I can sense that he's not a compassionate person. I don't even know if he knows what the definition of compassionate means. But I don't know much about politics. All I know is if I want to go for a candidate, I want to understand what their policies are. And I felt that fundamentally speaking, Hillary's policies were more agreeable to me. But unfortunately, she didn't win. So now we have to face a Trump presidency. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting pretty tired. So I'm going to call it a night. I love you all. And stay tuned for more videos from Emily, INLA of T-Girl Angel. And if you're on Spotify or iTunes, Apple Radio, Amazon Prime, all those digital music sites, check me out. I'm T-Girl Angel, T-Girl Angel, and I am a spoken word artist, and most of my writings come from my heart. So I urge anyone who's interested to check it out. I also have a website, www.t-girlangel.com. It's all one word, www.t-girlangel.com. Thank you for listening, and I pray to all of you. Take care. I love you. Bye. Emily.